welcome everyone. Nice to see everyone here. I'm so happy to be able to share this session with you. Let me pull up my PowerPoint. Let me pull up my PowerPoint. And so today we're going to be talking about planning strategically for your next promotion. An interesting topic, and it correlates with some of the other themes that we've had last month and the month before. So I hope this will be helpful for you. Here's our agenda. We're going to, first, we're going to do some self-assessment polls and find out where you are all at with this in terms of, have you ever asked for a promotion? Are you looking for a promotion? So that's our first step. Our second item is 5 signs you might be getting promoted, right? So things to look for if you think, boy, maybe I'm ready for that, or maybe my boss thinks I'm ready. Our third part is looking at, if you want a promotion, what are 5 key things you need to do to get ready for your promotion? We're going to have a little case study. We're going to look at an example of a good case study of someone who asked for a promotion and got it, and someone who wanted a promotion and hasn't gotten it yet. Our fifth topic, we're going to look at 7 mistakes to avoid. And then lastly, special considerations for online workers. All right. Can we see in chat, can you put in chat if any of you are online workers, if any of you are working online remotely? Put in chat, let us know if you're working online. All right. So self-assessment polls. We have a couple polls for you, and I think that Angela is going to be helping us with this. So our first poll, or Angela, do I do it? Hold on, wait. There we go, our first poll. Have you ever asked for a job promotion? Let's see where people are at with this. Have you ever asked for a job promotion? Oh, some yes, some no. Good, we have some mixed results. We have more no than yes, but this is interesting. Good. All right. So we have 2 of you, 25% said yes, and 75% said no. All right. Excellent. Let's share the results with you so that you can see that. And then we're going to go to our next poll, and this is for the people who asked for a promotion. Let's see our next one. Hold on, there's my next one. If you have asked for a job promotion, did you get it? If you did ask for a job promotion, did you get it? Woo! Yes, 1 yes and 1 no. You know, if you don't, so I'm glad. So yes, we're seeing 2 yeses and 2 nos and 3 nos. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, now let's share the results. All right, and then our next question, right? So we say 40%. 2 of you did get the promotion and 3 of you did not. Let's go for our next poll, which is right now, are you hoping to get a job promotion and want more information on how to get it? % or not. Could we have, I don't have a poll for it, but could you put in chat if any of you are working remotely online? Because I do have some information that's relevant for people who are working online. Is anyone, you can answer in chat. Let us know, right? Let us know if you are working online remotely, if you're a remote worker. You can either, great, so yeah, Angela, definitely. Anyone else, you could even raise your hand for us. A hybrid, excellent. Thank you so much, Mark. Hybrid, any other hybrid workers there? Because we have information that'll be relevant for hybrid workers as well. All right. So with that, let's proceed with our presentation today. So First of all, for those of you who are looking, they're looking for remote part-time job assistant. Thank you, Eunice. David, thank you. Online, Augustine, both. So many of us nowadays are working both online, both partly online and partly remote. Thank you. Very nice. Let me see if I missed anyone. Excellent, excellent. So 5 signs you might be getting promoted. Let's take a look at what they are. The first sign is that you might be getting more work. You may find that people are giving you more work, probably because you're competent and you're efficient and you're getting things done, and they see you as being capable of it. So that's the number 1 sign. The second sign could be that you're being asked to train someone, right? And that means they see you as a mentor, and they see you as having strong skills and expertise in a certain skill. So that's another sign you might be getting promoted, or that your supervisor, your manager is thinking about promoting you. Third one, your boss might ask you about your goals and say, hey, what are your goals? Are you looking for a promotion? So they may seek out to understand what your goals and aspirations are in terms of the company and your role. Fourth, you're being invested in. They might give you training. They might be giving you special training, improving your skills, maybe in a new software or customer service training or public speaking training. Those of you out there who've joined us, are any of you in this position where you've recently gotten some extra training in your job? If so, put it in chat. We'd love to hear what that is. That would be great. Put it in chat if there's any. And then lastly, if you're being asked to sit in on interviews, maybe they're hiring people and the reason why they would do that is because they trust your judgment. And when they're interviewing people, they want to know, can they do the job and are they a good fit for the company? And they trust your judgment in being able to determine that, if they have the skills needed to do the job, and if you understand the culture of the company well enough to determine if someone is a good fit. So those are 5 signs you might be getting promoted. If you have not gotten those signs and you want to get a promotion, let's look at the 5 essential steps for getting your next promotion. Some of these things, we're not going to go into detail because they're things that are obvious. They're things you already know. And they're things that people tell you all the time. Give me a thumbs up if this is just so obvious that you know this already, right? Those of you online, give me a thumbs up. Take initiative, be proactive. We hear that a lot, right? Thank you so much. Add value, create value, bring in revenue, use good communication skills, make your job easier, be a team player, get along with everyone, right? You know this already. But so in pulling this together, I did my own research with some hiring managers and looking at articles online. And I boiled it down to what seemed to be 5 key tips, right? And let's take a look at them. Number 1, you want to let your manager know that you want a promotion. The reason why is because then there are lots of reasons why you want to let your manager know. So number 1, this way the manager can start to give you feedback on, right? If they know the role that you're hoping to go into, the manager can start to give you feedback on areas that you might need to improve on in order to get into that role, right? That's one of the number 1. So that you can start to get the essential feedback that you need for getting to that next level. It also lets your manager know so that if he or she hears of any positions that match what you're looking for, they can let you know and they can help support you in achieving that goal. All right. Oh, Grace Aguti is in the waiting room. She's coming. Grace, so nice to see you. It's been a long time. Oh my gosh. So that's the first step. The second step is to find a mentor within the organization. And there are a couple of purposes and roles of having this mentor. So number 1, again, like your manager, when your manager knows that you're hoping for a promotion, your mentor too can give you feedback to help you get to that next role. And if you have questions about, I don't know, anything related to company culture or the skills you needed, that mentor can help you. Another advantage of the mentor is not just the advice they can give you, but your mentor can talk with other people within the organization that might want to hire you. In my husband's company, they hired a woman from another division, and it was because her mentor knew that this woman wanted to be moved into a different position so that she would be more ready for a managerial role. So that's the two things. Number one, it's direct advice for you and feedback, and number two, um, it's a support and kind of a scout of what might be other opportunities. So number three, the third key step, you have to do research on the outside market. You have to see what are the salary benchmarks, what are the skill benchmarks, what are the expectations for someone in this role. We spoke last time in our session about salary negotiation that this can be a little bit more difficult on continent because not all of this information is available online. So you might need to talk to your friends, you might talk to your colleagues. You're going to have to network a bit to get that information. Number four, the fourth step, when you identify that role, as you're doing this research into the outside market, you need to find out what are the skills that are needed so that you can start working on them now, right? It can take some time. Let's say maybe, you want to move into more of a data analytics role, for example, and you find out you need to have advanced Excel skills, not just basic Excel skills, but advanced. So, you may sign up for a course, you may go on Baobab, sign up for an Excel course. So it gives you time. And we have a question from Joy. How do you ask about other people's salary as it's normally confidential? Such a good question, Joy. I think you want to build up some trust with people, and just say, confidentially, I just want to know. Maybe it's less sensitive if you can ask someone in another company. Say, I'm just trying to get some benchmarks about what are some standards. That's what I would suggest. And for any of you, it's nice we have a small group today. So if any of you have any questions, just pop them into chat and we'll answer them. The fifth one is you want to interview with outside companies so that you have some choices, right? If you're really serious about wanting that promotion, it's really nice to have what they call, I'm going to put it in chat, they call it a BATNA. It's a best alternative to a negotiated offer. If you're serious and you know that you're ready for that promotion, that you can do the job, that you're qualified, if you have an offer from another company, you have some leverage and you can say, hey, I've been offered this position for this amount of salary. I'd love to stay with you all, but can you match what they're offering me? The danger of that one is that if you do get that offer from another company and your company doesn't match it, you have to go with the other company. So BATNA means best alternative to a negotiated, I'm forgetting, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. BATNA. And it just means that you have two offers. And so instead of it means you have two offers. So it gives you a lot more bargaining power in negotiating with your company. BATNA. That's such a business MBA term. All right. So those are the key steps. Those are really, really the key steps for getting promoted. Let me come back into my PowerPoint. I'd like us to talk about like two case studies of one good and one bad. And Angela offered to share her example of when she asked for a promotion and what happened. And Angela, what do I do? Do I stay here? Do I stop share so people can focus on you, or do we just leave it like this?
Oh, you can stop sharing.
Okay. All right.
Hey, and I'll just bring us here together to have a conversation. All right. So it's nice that you've raised the different steps to, strategizing on how to get that next promotion. And I could see how I used some of those steps in my journey of asking a promotion. And this is my story. So when I graduated from Ashesi in 2019, I applied to this company, but at the time I was in direct communication with the company's CEO, who was based in Nairobi, and the company was based in Uganda. So at the time of my negotiation, the CEO offered me a position, and the country director in Uganda thought otherwise because I was a fresh graduate, and he thought, if you're going to get that position that the CEO is offering you, you would have to prove yourself. And I said, okay, game on. I didn't have any other option, and I accepted the offer to go to the Uganda office and do the role that I was given, a role that was below what I expected to get. So when I got there, of course, I was given this assignment, given this task, and I knew for sure within 3 months, if I didn't get the promotion to the next role, I was not going to be happy at that job. So this is what I did. First, I had a mentor, and this person guided me every step of the way. And the good thing about that, the person was directly connected to the organization, indirectly rather. The wife worked in the organization, and the husband was my mentor. So any conversations that I had about how to improve at work, how to negotiate for my promotion with my boss, I talked with my mentor, and he guided me through that journey. And the wife, who was my direct supervisor at the workplace, I worked closely with her, and I made it clear that I'm not going to stay in this position for long. I just want to prove myself, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that. So I worked closely with her. I was given assignments that were outside my job description, which I accepted gladly, so that I could show that bring it on, I'll do my part. And at the end of the day, you're going to see that I'm valuable and deserve the position that I initially interviewed for. So my working closely with my indirect mentor, who is the wife to my mentor, helped me a lot because I got to see other aspects of the business. I got to do some of her work, which was nice. And I used that when I came to, negotiate for a promotion with my boss. So that whole journey of preparing for my promotion involved me talking to my mentor, having someone guiding me, getting directly involved in other activities outside my scope. And when it came to the negotiation part, I built a case. So I remember that conversation. It was over a coffee that I set up a meeting with my boss. It was at the 3-month mark. And I said, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. When are you available? He gave me his available time, and we sat at a cafeteria, and I made a case. And my case was basically about my value that I had brought to the table, the things I had accomplished over time within the 3 months. And I knew for sure, if I don't get this promotion, I don't know why you would not give it to me, because I have proved myself here. And the other thing that I did was have a partner, which Elizabeth has mentioned. So in the 3 months, I was lucky enough to receive an offer from another organization, which I interviewed for and got. So when I came to the negotiation part of asking for the promotion, I essentially told my boss that, hey, this is what I've done for the company, and this is what I want to get out of this. But if it's not going to be possible, I have this other offer here, and it's going to give me more. So it's a matter of who is going to give me what I need for the time being. And he was surprised when I told him that, because he was not expecting it. And in that very moment, he changed gears. If he was second guessing anything, he changed immediately and like, okay, I hear you. So what do we need to do? What it was a conversation of, I see there's something else you can take on, but we still need you on the team. And so we're going to give you the promotion that you want. So I got it, and much as it wasn't during the timing was not the best because it was during the pandemic. And at the time, a lot of people were getting laid off, and I had the job. I was asking for a promotion, but I was not gonna worry about that because at the end of the day, this is what I wanted, and I had to make a case for it. The worst that could happen was a no. And if I didn't get it, I had another option. So that's my experience with promotions and negotiating for one at a company. Always just go for it and have a good reason to do so. Build your case. Otherwise, they'll have no reason to say no if you have a good case.
Thank you so much for sharing. You know, the research says too, if you ask for the raise or the promotion in person, you're 39% more likely to get it. So they strongly recommend doing it in person. So that was good. What a great story. What a great example. So let's, and I love how you laid out, like, can I ask one more question?
Sure.
I lose you. Okay. How long did it take from the time you were hired to the time you got promoted? How long was that?
So it was in the span of 3 months. That
3
was like
months.
my probation to prove myself. That's the time limit I gave myself.
Okay.
Within 3 months, I knew I needed to get to another level because whatever I was doing, it was just, it was not it for me. I could do more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's excellent. And that's great. So she accepted the lower position knowing she could prove herself. She got a mentor. She let them know she wanted a promotion. She took initiative. She took on more work. And then she set up a meeting and she got it. So really, really nice. Eunice has a question too. Eunice, let's talk about that a little bit later, but I like your question. Let's talk about a bad example of one. And this is a woman that I know. Angela, is this setup good, or do we need to change do I share screen again, or just leave it like this?
I'll just get out here.
Okay.
And you can.
So I'm going to share with you a bad example. So this is a woman. She moved into a new role. She's working remotely. And so the rest of her team, they're all in this one location and she's in another state. And and it was a lateral move. It wasn't a promotion. It was just a lateral one. And when she got the move, she immediately told her supervisor that she should have been promoted to a manager, that she's managerial material, that she was angry that they didn't promote her to a manager level. And that was really clear, this is what she wants. She wants to get promoted to a manager. And she's worked with the company for a long time. Before she retires, she wants to be a manager. And her supervisor, she doesn't have a mentor in the company. And her supervisor starts giving her feedback about, okay, you want to be a manager, and kind of identifying what are the skills that managers need. They need good initiative. They need good communication skills. They need to have good problem solving skills. They need to anticipate and resolve problems. So he starts giving her feedback on these issues. And when he gives her the feedback, she's just not that receptive. And her response is to do something like this. I don't know if you all can see me. She goes, she kind of rolls her eyes, and it's just, I'm friends with the manager and it's driving him crazy because she's not receptive to his feedback, and it's just so frustrating. So that's a bad example. She has not gotten her promotion yet, but amazingly, my friend is working with her, and he's starting to like give her clearer direction of this is what a manager would do, and this is what I want you to do. And amazingly, after a year and a half, she's starting to improve her skill set. And he's confident that she actually will be a very good manager. So it's a bad example, but it's still in process. We hope she'll get better, and we hope she'll get her promotion. All right. So there are 2 examples. Take a look. 7 mistakes to avoid. And one of those, number 6, that's what my friend's direct report did. I deserve a promotion. I'm managerial level. But don't do that. Let them know you want a promotion, but don't be what's the word? Don't be annoying about it, so to speak. Anyway, 7 mistakes. Number 1, burning yourself out by working too hard. And this can be especially common with people who are working online. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Right. So sometimes, and Angela, I don't know if this happened with you, and when you were taking on more work, if it was exhausting and you found yourself like, God, I don't know if I can keep this up.
Yeah, it was exhausting because I was doing work outside my original scope of work. So sometimes it was a lot, and I had to say no. I had to learn to say no to some work because I could not take on everything.
Good point. And so if you find you are taking on a lot and it's too much, you need to let your manager know. Don't keep your struggles a secret. That's a mistake to avoid. Third mistake, thinking us versus them. Like maybe you're on a team and you're like, oh my God, I'm so much more qualified than them. I need a promotion. How come? Right? That's not good thinking. You don't want to create these walls where none are. You still want to be a team player. Number 4, you don't want to sell your promotion with a sob story. And if I can share, so Angela and I, in talking, she said one of the issues was that transportation was so expensive, and it was getting more expensive. And you don't want to go to your employer and say, oh, it's so expensive, I have to have a raise because my transportation's too expensive. You got to figure a way to be more strategic about that. Number 5, applying for roles that don't suit you. Right? You may be so desperate to get into a different role, but make sure that it's a role that's gonna suit you well. And lastly, giving an ultimatum. Not a good thing. You want to make sure you have a backup plan. People don't respond well to ultimatums. And I was telling Angela, I actually did this one time, and it was awful. And luckily, I was able to correct it pretty quickly. But don't do that. Don't give ultimatum. Sometimes that frustration can drive us to that feeling. All right. Best ways to ask for a raise or promotion. Sorry, I said 35%. It's best in person. And that's some of the other research that showed. And they find the raise or promotion interesting. So Angela, during the interview, so she did let them know she felt like she was overqualified. So she actually, it was in person both during the interview and after. All right. Last part. And then we're going to look at some of the questions people put in chat. Special considerations for online workers. The new rules for getting more face time. Here we go. Did some research. There's a woman named Kali Yost, chief executive and founder of workplace consulting company Flex and Strategy Group. She says the onus, if you're working online, the burden shifts to you to prove your value and make sure you're in the flow, right? They're not seeing you every day. There are different dynamics going on. So it's really up to you. And it's a much more specific and intentional way of doing your job. I will say too, I think some of the research on this, I think anything before 2019 is out of date because COVID changed everything because we were all online. But I do think it does change it. And right. And so You have to be much more intentional. I'm actually gonna switch. Sorry, I'm gonna switch to my last one and come back to the other one. So here are the new rules, and here's what they recommend if you want to try to get a promotion from home. Number one, check in. Keep your boss updated on your accomplishments and raise your hand for projects. You need to really be sure you have ongoing intentional and strategic communication because they don't know what you're doing. So you need to have regular check-ins with your boss, keep giving them progress updates. Number two, you want to get aligned. You want to make sure that you know what your manager's expectations are and what the company's priorities lie. Think about the work that you can do that would make your boss's life easier. Angela talked a little bit about this, even though she wasn't online. She said with her mentors, she got to have a better understanding of the company as a whole, what some of their goals were, and how she could fit in with that, how she could align with their priorities and help them achieve their objectives. Third one, stay in the flow. So as much as possible, participate in group chats on technology, having catch up calls with colleagues, even if they're not in your immediate team. A lot of companies have, especially during the pandemic, they had lots of ways for people to engage remotely. Or if they do, if there are days where they have like maybe a company party, or if there's an event, maybe those are the days you go into work, or you select strategically days you are going to go into the office to engage with people and get to know people and connect with them. Or fourth one, speak up. So make sure that your technology is working so that so that you can participate actively on Zoom, on the phone, and make sure that all your equipment is working. You don't want to lose out because the equipment's not working, you have the wrong link, or it's so easy for that to happen. So you always want to come to your meetings 5-10 minutes early to make sure everything's working. Last one, express your goals. Like we talked about before, let your manager know, what your goals are, that you're looking for a promotion. Let them know what the next steps in your career are. And if you're working from home, maybe you want to switch to a hybrid setup instead of being fully remote. Really work with your manager and let them know what your goals are so that they can help you with that. So those are the tips for scoring a promotion from home. I'm going to come back to finding a mentor, right? So finding a mentor is just key. It was my friend who's a manager. I mean, he says it's just such an important thing to have a mentor. Angela talked about it. So how do you find a mentor if you're online? It can be challenging. Marissa King, a professor of organizational behavior at the Yale School of Management, she says, do not send out cold emails asking someone to be a mentor. Instead, show your interest in their work by citing correspondence, accomplishment, talks, or research. That's how you do it. And there's a template for how you do it, for how you can reach out to someone, maybe through LinkedIn or someone at your office. You want to see if they'll be a mentor. So the template is number 1, greeting, 2, compliment, 3, common ground, and 4, an ask. What does that look like? Hi, Anna. I really enjoyed reading your profile. Right? Maybe I'm right. There's your greeting and your compliment. I'm interested in, I enjoyed reading your profile. You've accomplished so much. There's our compliment. Common ground, I'm interested in microfinance. And then the ask is, I would love to connect here. So start out with a small ask, and then maybe from there you can build up to try to find a mentor online. How many of you, can I see a show of hands? How many of you have a mentor? Can I see a show of hands for those of us who are online? How many of you have a mentor? Anyone, any of you all have a mentor? Angela, excellent. Anyone else have a mentor? Good, Vivian, wonderful. Excellent, excellent. Good, 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 good. Good, good. Glad to see that. Margaret. Oh, Margaret, nice to see you, Margaret. It's been a little while. Good. So this concludes our presentation. We had some questions in the chat. So just in conclusion, excellent. 5 signs you might be promoted. We'll share the PowerPoint online in the chat forum. 5 essential steps to get promoted, mistakes to avoid, and special considerations for online workers. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful. We had some questions in chat. And if there are any other questions, so we had a couple of questions. How do you determine your worth? How much should we pay you? And try to ask people working at other companies that are in similar
Position.
roles, right? That's what I would do. And then another question we had was on the point of interviewing with outside companies, it's been a struggle. How has it been a struggle, Eunice? Excellent, thanks, ma'am. I hope this was helpful. We have some people still entering. So part of it, interviewing with outside companies. So you guys, so when you interview with outside companies, you want to have an informational interview, right? And maybe, asking them about their company culture or what skills they think are really important for someone entering into that role or entering into that company. I don't know, Angela, I don't know if you have any tips for people. For you, how did you go about interviewing with other companies? Any thoughts for Eunice, who's asking about this?
Interviewing with other companies. So, well, you have to do the research. You have to do the work. Oh, my hand. You have to do the research around, companies that you'd like to work with, not because you want to work with them, but you want to build a case for where you are. And how it worked for me, it was totally different. I don't think it's the norm, but I had a connection at this company and I had worked with them in the previous years. And when a new project came up, they reached out to me because it was related to the work I had done previously with them. So it was just a timely thing. But outside that, I would suggest that you look at companies that you'd like to work with, see job opportunities at those places, give it your shot, send in your resume, do the interviews. If you get selected for that, then you use that. It doesn't mean that when you get an offer from a company, you're choosing to accept the offer or reject the offer. Before you accept the offer, you go to your company and use that as a partner. And I don't know if this is the right thing to do, Elizabeth, but I would do that in my case. If I got an offer from a company and I'm looking for a promotion in my current company, I'm not going to accept the offer from this company immediately.
Yes.
I'm going to get that offer and use it as a partner for negotiation in my current job. That's if I want to stay here. But if I don't want to stay here, of course, you're not tied to a company. You can always move. So
No, that's exactly how the BATNA works. That's exactly what they recommend you should do. Exactly that. So you did textbook how the BATNA works. I think another issue related to this whole thing of interviewing companies is something I've been thinking about, this whole issue of networking. I think sometimes when you all are networking, it seems like such a big thing. Like you want the big thing, you want the big job offer, you want the big thing. And it can help to shift and think, no, networking, the purpose of the networking is just to create relationships, right? It's just to create relationships, and it's an exchange of small favors. And it's a relationship that's built over time. I think some of you, when you're networking, you're thinking, oh, it's just this one time. But the person on the other side, it's a long-term relationship that you're starting to set up. So I think part of the I don't know. Let us know if you want us to do a session on networking. I think it could be really helpful for people to do a session on networking. Can I see a show of hands from our folks here? Anyone want us to do a session on how to network? I don't know if we still have folks. Show of hands, how many of you want us to do a session on networking? How to network? How to network effectively? We can help you with this one. I think there are misconceptions among people doing it and people receiving it. And I think once you get that, it's going to actually answer a lot of your other questions of how do you find out what salaries are? How do you find out what the skills are that people want? So we'll talk with the folks in Baobab and see if we can help you guys a little bit more with the networking and some templates for how you initiate that communication. Any questions? Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Thank you so much. Any other questions for us looking at this issue of getting ready strategically for your next promotion?
I have a
No.
question.
Okay.
So after how long in a position should you ask for a promotion?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, frankly, I was surprised that you asked for it after 3 months. Because I think depending upon the job, in my experience for my roles, it takes 6 months for me to become acclimated to a job, to really understand what the job is, what the requirements are, how I'm doing. So I was a little, it must have been you must have been totally overqualified for it to know so clearly, like, wow, this is not, this
I
is,
knew for sure. It was
you
a
knew.
trial. It was a
Yeah.
trial they gave me. So within that period, I knew I could not continue doing this because I could do more. And I'm just undervalued
Yeah.
here. I do more.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. But for someone
Uh,
who's been at their job maybe for a year or 2 years, at what point do you ask for a promotion?
I think, it's just a good question. It depends. If you want that promotion or if you don't. Another friend of mine, actually, his company, they keep trying to promote him. They keep trying to promote him to like a director level. And he's like, no, I don't want to be promoted. I like what I'm doing. I like the level where I'm at. I don't. And there are other ways where his role has improved, but so it depends. It depends on what your aspirations are. But it's a good thing to have a dialogue with your manager. And if you're not sure, you can always discuss it with your manager of, do you think I'm ready for a promotion? Do you think a lot of companies have what they call succession plans, where they have a plan for everyone's career. The HR department, at least in the States, the HR department for the big companies, they have a plan for everyone's career of when their next promotion is. And so it's always a good thing to be thinking about. It's always a good thing. Yep. Any other questions? All right. Thank you all so much. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next month.
You and I, we're breaking bounds on Baobab.